Hey everyone, Wyduck welcoming you to Game 2 of a Best of 5 series from the Kaspersky Arena September 2013 final. And this time on Yeonsu, one of the newer maps from the Blizzard map pool. You've got spawning in the top right as the red Zerg, representing Team Liquid. We've got the little one. And his opponent and Victor from Game 1 spawning in the bottom left as the blue Zerg, representing Team Acer. We've got Nerchio. And this time the banter has been kept to a minimum. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you can check out Game 1 as Nerchio and the little one were chatting quite a lot at the beginning of the game. Now Nerchio was able to get the advantage over TLO. It's very interesting because Nerchio went for a 9 pool and attacked TLO. His attack wasn't that successful and TLO was ahead for a while, but then Nerchio was able to finish off TLO with a whole bunch of Zerglings. So we'll have to see if TLO is going to make an adaptation here. But it looks like Nerchio is going for a very similar timing strategy. Going for the spawning pool. He's at 9 drones. And TL is going to be getting a few more drones before he puts out his spawning pool. So Nerchio, once again, is going to be very aggressive and very early as well. By the time these 6 Zerglings reach TLO's base, the spawning pool should be up. But then TL will have to wait a bit before the Zerglings can come out. Now, once again, if TL opens up with the hatchery at that natural, this might spell trouble for our red Zerg. And it looks like that's exactly what he's primed to do. There we go. He is putting down that hatchery. Now TL's Overlord is able to spot these very fast 6 Zerglings rushing across the map. Now TL is just waiting on this spawning pool to finish so he can get some Zerglings out. Now you do have to remember he doesn't have that many eggs because he's diverted most of the eggs to drones. And now his hatchery is under attack. He has no units to defend currently. He is getting a queen as well, but that's going to supply block him. And so this hatchery, it might not last. You've got 8 Zerglings poking at it. I don't think this hatchery is going to last. There we go. The cancel is forced. So this is a little bit different compared to Game 1. TL was able to save his hatchery, even though it was in the red. But now it looks like TL is clearly behind. There's so many Zerglings in his base. A lot of Zergling on Zergling battles. The drones are trying to help out with that DPS. Able to kill 2 workers. But what is even more important is the fact that TLO's basic strategy has been thwarted. And Nerchio is getting a hatchery of his own at the natural. And once that finished, he will be clearly ahead of TLO. Even forcing the cancel on that extractor. And Nerchio's Zerglings are still going to town, causing some pain. Until he's going to be morphing in a hatchery. Hopefully he can complete this one this time. And Queen is going to be able to provide some DPS. And what is most important is some range to that DPS. Zergling on Zergling fights are so difficult simply because you have to micro so much to control it. Now TLO, like I said, he is ahead in supply. But I think this advantage is going to subside in due time simply because he is behind economically. He doesn't have that second hatchery up that Nerchio does. And Nerchio did enough damage to make that attack worth it. So TL is going to have to do something different here. He is getting Zergling speed. And this is following Game 1 quite closely because TL had Zergling speed before Nerchio did as well. And that will give TL's Zerglings quite a bit of an advantage over Nerchio's. We do have the drone transfer over to TL's natural. But like I said, Nerchio's been mining from this base for a while. He only has 3 drones on it, and he actually is getting a spine crawler. He has a spine crawler already. So he's kind of being preemptive about a possible counterattack. There is no counterattack inbound currently. So both players look like they're going to be a little bit more passive here, but TL does have a lot of Zerglings. He might want to move them across the map. Yeah, Zergling speed is finished. He's going to be moving these 19 Zerglings across the map immediately. But it's interesting, TL is building more and more drones behind this attack, so he has to make some damage here. And then he's going to be droning up. So the drones are under attack at the natural. Now, we do have a good block off at that ramp with a whole bunch of queens and the spine crawler. One queen does go down. The zerglings are able to get past the queens, able to pick off a second one, and this last queen is going to go down as well. And the remaining 10 or so zerglings are going to be able to dart into the main base. There are no defenses here. No queens, no spine crawlers. Just a few zerglings. But 4 zerglings versus 10 is not a very good encounter for Nerchio. Now, Nerchio does have home base advantage. His reinforcements do arrive immediately. So this is slowly whittling away at TLO's forces, but TL is picking away at drones here and there. He only has 4 zerglings left. And once these 4 zerglings are cleaned up, TL is going to have to vacate the premises. Now, zergling speed has been started for Nerchio. But it's still about another minute away before it is completed. So TL is microing very well, just constantly poking away at these drones, able to pick away another drone. And that will bring that total up to 2 drones. And he still has 3 zerglings harassing the main base. Finally, the last zergling is picked apart. So TL was able to harass quite a bit. I don't think he did that much economic damage there. But I guess sometimes a good defense is having a good offense. And if all the action is happening on the opposite side of the map, you don't have to defend your base. So sometimes that is a very good play. Now, the lair is almost finished for TLO. So he'll be able to jump into Mutas or something else if he wants to. I haven't seen a lot of ZVZ Mutas play as much, simply because the Spore Crawlers are just so effective now. And especially with fungal growths, that can end your entire Mutalist play. So I haven't seen a lot of Mutalist play. We'll have to see what TL is going for, but he is going for Spire, so we will be seeing Mutalist play in this game. Now, TL is moving across the map, but so is Nerchio. It seems like both players are going to be attacking each other's bases. Maybe this is a war of attrition, but the natural is heavily fortified with zerglings and spine crawlers, so Nerchio is going to withdraw. Now, at the same time, TL is just outside the natural of Nerchio's base. He's got zerglings and 3 banelings. The banelings don't get a great connection, finishing off a few zerglings. Not sure if it was really worth it. 1 baneling is still in this pack. Is it going to get a good connection? It does some damage to some drones and able to kill a few zerglings as well. But TL is going to wreak havoc on this natural mineral line. The spine crawlers are now being focused down, but TL is going to think better of it and is now in the main base. And with a single queen protecting it, this queen might not survive the fortnight. Yes, it is going to be picked apart, and Nerchio is going to reinforce his position. Now, it is zergling on zergling, so this attack force should be cleaned up. But you have to remember, this Spire is almost finished for TLO, and Nerchio doesn't know anything about it. He has no spores. He doesn't have extra queens or Hydralisk. And this may be the curtain call for Nerchio if he's not going to be able to get any anti-air up soon. We do have 4 Mutalisks morphing in right now from these eggs. And I guess the key for TLO here is to keep these Mutalisks under wraps until he has enough of an attack force of just pure Mutalisks to deal the finishing blow to Nerchio. Now, Nerchio is still in the game, but I feel like if he doesn't get any anti-air soon, it's not going to work out for him very well. Now, he is building a Spire of his own, and he is counterattacking TL's main and natural at the same time. He actually has a few zerglings in the main, able to spot the Mutalisks. And that's what's most important. That's going to give a few extra moments for Nerchio to prepare. Now, Nerchio is going to try and counterattack TL's new 3rd base. The banelings are in here, able to finish off a few zerglings. This spine crawler is going to go kablooey, but is that really worth it, losing all those banelings? Especially with so many Mutalisks out, I'm not sure. And with that Overlord destroyed, Nerchio was actually supply blocked just for a few moments here. And with the reinforcements of these Mutalisks, these zerglings are not going to be able to do too much, but that will give some extra time to Nerchio. He is putting down spore crawlers. At the natural, he isn't putting any spore crawlers at his main. That's interesting. He does have 2 queens there, but he's getting a Nidus network. So are we going to see some Nidus play into the main base of TLO? It will be interesting to see if that's what we're going to see here. Now, finally, TL is going to be able to dispatch of those zerglings. And the Mutalisks are darting around the map, still picking away at a few zerglings here and there, but I don't know if this is the best use of Mutalisks. But we do have a Nidus Worm forming very close to TLO's base, and TLO does not know anything about this. There we go, the Mutalisk is able to spot it. So TL is going to have to choose what he wants to do here. He is ahead by about 25 supply, and it looks like he is going to be attacking this Nidus Worm head-on. There's only 2 queens here. I feel like this is kind of a waste for Nerchio, sending the 2 queens just to die out in the middle of nowhere. And now Nerchio is going to tap out. He doesn't have that much anti-air, only a few Spore Crawlers and a few queens. So TLO, even though he lost his expansion hatchery basically a few minutes into the game, he was able to pull back into the game. And I think the reason why he won was basically the surprise Mutalisk. It can be really devastating once you see 10 or 12 Mutalisks heading towards your attacking force or your base and you don't have that much anti-air. So very good strategy by TLO. We'll have to see who can grab the series lead in Game 3.